It's Wednesday, March the 8th. Hewitt says he's been up Diana's tunnel, but where's the proof? United worth $1 billion. That's 4 Brooklyn parties, says Beckham. More Bush in the White House. Yes, please, says Clinton. Please welcome the man who knows a big election when he sees one, Mr. Iain Lee.
I'm a boxer. I love it. Hello and welcome to the 11 o'clock show. What is going on in America, huh? At the moment, it's all gore and Bush, and I'm not talking about some hardcore porn film. But in fact, no, it's true, the likely candidates for American president. Mind you, like a porn film, it does feature fake suntans, dodgy acting, and a couple of twats. But who are these guys? Well, Al Gore is a man so boring that the only stain he'd leave on a secretary's dress would be Ovaltine. Less of the licking whores, more of the whore licks. See what we did there? Very clever. Meanwhile, George Bush Jr. is a former coke fiend and such a party animal he can't remember most weekends. Mind you, of course, Ronald Reagan can't remember whole years, or even what his arse is for. Now, it's all up to the American voter. Trouble is, most Yanks have got problems with the ballot paper. Apparently, they can't even spell X. The X on it. Ignore it. You never heard it. The Americans have to do everything bigger and better than us, don't they? I mean, Bush has got celebrity support from Arnie and Eastwood. Gore has got Streisand and Travolta. Who does our very own Red Ken have? Billy Bragg and Timmy fucking Mallet. I tell you who I think should be made president, of course, Britney Spears. You love it. It might sound stupid, but think about it like this man just did. Maybe not quite the same way. But she'd get the youth vote, the Christian vote, and what's more, it's the one Bush we'd all like to see photographed on the White House lawn. But enough of these presidential postulations. Ladies and gentlemen, please welcome the girl who's my American Pie, Miss Daisy Donovan.
Everybody's stopping. Iain, now listen, I don't know what all the fuss is about. James Hewitt getting pissed and driving down that tunnel in Paris at 120 miles per hour with 4 Venezuelan whores. I've been down there myself, minus the horse, though it was a few years ago and I was driving a white Fiat. Odd thing is, I think somebody clipped me at the back of it. Never mind, no harm done.
Don't even go there, Daisy. Just tell us what's coming up on tonight's show.
No props. Peter Piper shares showbiz stories with Ken Branagh and Sam Mendes. Ricky Gervais investigates Switzerland's BSE crisis. And later on, I'll be finding out why the British can't keep a secret anymore. Yeah, no, false, absolutely, right up by her neck. But first, it's today's headlines.
Tonight's top stories.
Peter Mandelson has called on all the people of Northern Ireland to kick-start the peace process, except those who haven't got any kneecaps.
Following Super Tuesday, President Clinton was asked how he felt about seeing Bush on top. He replied he was willing to give any sexual position a go at least once.
Today is National No Smoking Day and 1 million people are expected to give up. Tomorrow has been named No, I Haven't Started Again. What a fucking stupid question. Pass me those patches now, Dave.
Prince Charles has become patron of the Prayer Book Society. A palace official said that he's often seen him down on his knees with Camilla, mouthing an ancient passage.
Leading Catholic Cardinal Biffy has warned that Satan is walking among us as a famous celebrity. We think we've tracked him down.
Despite his mad ramblings, Cardinal Biffy is a leading contender to be the next pope. With the whole world waiting for His Holiness to pop his clogs, here's a timely reminder of the life and times of Pope John Paul II. 1981. The world stops turning as John Paul is gunned down by an assassin. He survives the attack and a subsequent biblical-style stoning. 82, and the Pope tours Britain. During his stay, he meets some of the most respected people in the country. And Jimmy Savile, who later fixes it for him to ride a pyramid with the Kent Constabulary motorcycle display team. 5 years on, and a poll reveals that the Pope is the most recognised person on the planet. 2 months later, he's overtaken by Patrick Swayze, star of the hit movie Roadhouse. It's 1999, and as foreseen by Nostradamus, the Pope receives a visit from God's representative on Earth. Bono. Impressed, His Holiness releases a CD of his own, which is narrowly kept from the #1 spot by 199 other records. Today, some 2,000 years after his boss strode the Earth, the Pope's hipper than ever.
Rewind. When the crowd say, select.
Hang on a minute. Whoa. Daisy, I've got to ask you, it slipped my mind. What do they say?
Interesting you should ask that, Ian, because they say all the world's a stage. But if that were true, everyone would walk around with rouged cheeks, pulling faces, over-articulating and whispering loudly like this. One man who knows a thing or two about theatre is Showbiz reporter Peter Piper, who's been at the Olivier Awards this week. Hello, Peter.
All right, me old cocker?
Peter, you've been out meeting lovies this week?
Well, Daisy, I don't like the word lovies. As far as I'm concerned, they're mates. I mean, this week I've had a lovely chat with Richard E. Grant, you know, from Withnail, a role I turned down, incidentally. Kenneth Branagh, dear old Kenny, he was done up to the nines. And Sam Mendes, the director of American Beauty. The gossip is, if he wins the Oscar, he's going to dedicate it to me for all the advice what I give him.
What advice did you give him?
Well, I said all you need is a naked bird covered in rose petals and you can't go too far wrong. Yeah, absolutely brilliant. Anyway, here's my report. What got you into acting in the first place?
Oh, I don't know. I couldn't think of anything else to do.
Oh, yeah,
It's the only thing I was good at.
Yeah. Have you got any tips for any kind of up-and-coming young actors or anything like that?
Keep trying. You've got to practice in any way you can.
What sort of directors do you admire? Did you?
Stanley Kubrick and Robert Altman and Milos Forman and Mike Nichols and John Schlesinger.
What about sort of like stuff like Star Wars? Would you
I love
ever
Star Wars.
Yeah, are you a fan?
Yeah, I'm a fan. I could never do anything like that.
Really?
Yeah,
Really?
it's too technical.
Well,
It takes too long.
Oh, I see. I actually met George Lucas. I met him, and he was lecturing at Portsmouth Polytechnic, as then was, now it's a university. And I remember I went up to him after a lecture, and I said, I've got a bit of an idea for you, like George. I said, why don't you make a film that's basically an old-fashioned morality tale, but set in space? And he said that's not a bad little idea, like, you know. And he said, why don't you write it with me? So he's like sat down and like started writing it and all that sort of stuff. Trouble is, he would insist on having a Wookiee. And I couldn't cope with that. I thought it was childish. Like, you know what I mean? What about Laurence Olivier? Did you rate him?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
Very much so.
Right,
Yeah.
really? Not
He
bad.
was all right. Yeah.
So I actually, did you ever meet him?
I never met him.
Yeah, because I actually did. I actually met him.
Did you?
Yeah, I did, like quite a few years ago down in, because you know the Chichester Festival Theatre?
Yeah, yeah.
You ever worked there?
I have.
And I used to help out backstage, and I used to like after the performance was over, I'd like sometimes going onto the stage, and I'd give it a bit of the old to be or not to be,
Really?
yeah, and all that sort of stuff. You know, once he sort of like went up behind me, he tapped me on the shoulder, and he said, "I've been watching you, Peter." He said, "You're brilliant." He said, "You've really got it." He said, "You're the best actor for your age I've ever seen in my entire life." He said, "You're miles better than I was when I was your age." He said, "Honestly," he said, "I'm going to put you through RADA, and I'm gonna make sure that you become the biggest movie star the world has ever known." And Sir Laurence Olivier once said that I was the best actor he'd ever seen in his entire life. Like, I used to.
What are you doing here then?
Well, at the end of the day, like, I couldn't be bothered to do it. Like, you know, I just thought I'd rather be like a normal bloke, a few beers, game of darts with my mates in the pub. He just wandered off like. But rude of him, really.
We would like to take a moment now to apologise for remarks we made last night during an item on James Hewitt. Hewitt caused a scandal in the wind by drunkenly reenacting the Diana crash and calling her death a good career move.
During our tribute to Hewitt, a number of small technical errors crept in. Our profile should have been titled Hewitt, Misunderstood Nobleman.
And not, as was broadcast, Hewitt, money-grabbing knob-end. When Hewitt described how he tried to recreate Diana's crash, it was wrong of us to suggest that Sky TV paid him to recreate another celebrity death by fiddling with an aerial on a rooftop with a puppet on his arm.
Tonight at 8, Hewitt's Rod Hull Challenge, only on Sky.
Also, a photograph of Hewitt's parents' wedding may have been doctored to give the impression of inbreeding. And that concludes our apology to the snivelling, pudding-faced, drink-driving love skunk.
Daisy, I say Switzerland, you say...
chocolate money, snow, and yodelay.
And mad cow disease?
In Switzerland, no.
Well, Ricky Gervais has this report.
Scientists in France and Switzerland indicated for the first time that cows with BSE are getting into their food chains. New findings came to light after Switzerland introduced a test that detects BSE in the cows. Ah, unlucky frog boys. Serves you right. I bet they're not going to be so fussy now about what they eat, are they? Fussy, that made me laugh. They wouldn't eat our mental cows, but they will eat frogs, snails, and horses. How did that get started in the first place? Some French bloke wandering around his garden 100 years ago in a beret, going, I'm starving. What will go nice with these onions? What's that slimy thing? That's a snail, Pierre. Can you eat it? Well, not really, no. Give it a go. What's that thing? A thing. That's a frog. You can't eat that. You can. Oh, right, that's disgusting. I'm off. Hold on. What's that thing you're sitting on? It's a horse. Bring it here. I've been to France, and as far as I can make out, there's only one thing they won't fucking eat. Clarets. And the Swiss, well, I don't really started on the Swiss. Oh, we're neutral, like in the war. Yeah. Oh, hello British, we like you best, yeah. Oh, hello Germans, we like you best. Oh, yeah. I'll tell you what the Swiss are like. They're like Daniel Wilmot, who went to my school in Reading. He didn't bundle himself, but he used to hold the coats. We should have got together with Germany and given Switzerland the kicking of its life. I mean, thinks he did to Wilmot. He's blind now. It'd be easy though, I'm in the Swiss. Have you seen their army? Yeah. Oh, look out. We've got a knife. Yeah. Oh, it's got a magnifying glass and some tweezers. Oh, watch out. The fucker's yodeling now. Don't get me wrong, I don't hate all Swiss. You know, some of them are all right. ABBA. This is Ricky Gervais for the 11 o'clock show in a field. They don't look mad, do they? You talk to them, though.
God damn that Gervais.
That's it for part one, but hold on there, because in part two, I'm finding out your secrets. And we'll be meeting Scar's superstar, Buster Bloodvessel.
And stay tuned, because right after the break, which is coming up now, we've got worked up, chained down lesbians. Don't miss it.
Here's the break.
...1984, and there's conflict at Greenham Common. The ladies can't stop the missiles getting in, but that Ford Cortina's going nowhere. Greenham Common was just like Glastonbury, without men or music, just women, and every man jack of them was a lesbian. Makes you think a bit, doesn't it? Whoa!
And that all happened 16 years ago today, Wednesday the 8th of March. Still to come, Buster Bloodvessel discusses his political ambition, and Daisy, that's her sitting there,
That's me.
investigates Britain's secrets.
But now it's time to look at today's headlines.
Hewitt reenacts Diana's last days, Carling demands blowjob.
Man United worth $1 billion, Beckham offers to swap it for 5 magic beans.
Prostitutes threaten strikes, worries over scabs. Brilliant. Teenagers have always liked extreme sports, and few things are as extreme even as trying to knob a third year in the rain on the youth club roof. Well, today the government has announced that it's got to stop as teenage pregnancies are spiralling out of control.
It seems sex in school uniforms is just not acceptable, unless, of course, you're Jimmy Cranky, in which case it should be made illegal.
So, how do you know if you're the sort of teenager the government are after? Well, it's simple. Take our teenage responsibility test.
Lisa from 4B gives you advice on how to avoid getting pregnant, is it?
A, go on the pill.
B, always do it standing up whilst winking at a magpie.
You find yourself in a passionate fumble in a classmate's bedroom. What precautions do you take?
A, put on a condom.
Or B, put a tape in the video so you don't miss news round.
Your girlfriend wants advice on safe sex. Does she write to?
A, just 17.
B, barely 12.
After you've finished doing it to each other, do you...
A, check that your condom has remained intact.
Or B, check if your crisp bag has got any crisps left worth eating. You want to know if you're pregnant, do you?
A, buy a kit from the chemist.
Or B, wait for 9 months and see if anything plops out while you're playing netball.
Do you expect to leave school with
A GMVQ.
or B, VD?
Now, if you answered mostly A's, the only thing you'll be getting sticky with is your Airfix kit.
Mostly B's, and you'll be a granny at 24.
And that was our Are You a Responsible Teenager or Not test. During the war, they said careless talk costs lives. Of course, it didn't. It was Sten guns.
The report out today shows we're worse at keeping secrets than ever before. Here's my report. Keep it under your hat. A new survey reveals what I've been telling everyone for years. No, not that Anthea Turner wears a girdle, but that keeping secrets is harder than ever. I've come here to indiscreet London to investigate. There's been a survey done that says that people can't keep secrets anymore because they're always overheard in restaurants and things like that. Do you think that's true?
In some cases, yeah. The way
Do you think posh people get overheard more than ordinary people?
No, I don't think so.
But they do talk like that. Yeah, they do. Johnny Karen Bun Smythe was doing it to Caroline. Have you got a sort of little secret you could tell me?
Yeah.
Okay. So, Epping Forest. Yeah. Shallow Grave. You done you wrong? If your best friend's boyfriend was shagging someone else, would you tell your best friend?
Depends.
What if it was you?
Who is shagging her best boyfriend?
Her boyfriend.
I wouldn't tell her. I would just shag.
Just keep... People may be happy to keep their own secret, but would they keep a secret for somebody else? Did you drop this?
No, I didn't, dear.
Did you? It says it's Ministry of Defence.
Say, lovey.
Shall we open it?
Why not?
Shall we? Can you do me a favour? This is my boyfriend on the line. Can you? I wasn't with him last night. Can you just say that I was with you last night and that we went to the pictures? And is that all right? My name's Daisy. What's your name?
Lena.
Lena. Yeah. Say hi, it's Lena.
Say no.
Hello.
What was they doing last night? Well, I suppose they was dancing, having a laugh, having a good drink. I suppose like most girls do.
Roller skating. Roller
skating, having a good old crack.
No, we didn't have any old crack. No crack. No crack.
Tony Blair, stop genetic engineering. Stop super virus. Stop evacuation London. Bethnal Green area. Stop. That don't mean a thing to me.
Envelope to be opened by addressee only. Leaking of information of a classified nature is a criminal offence and can be punishable by...
Anyway.
You bloody did! You bloody did. I'm leaving that there. So there you have it. If you've got a secret, shh, or tell me. This has been Daisy Donovan for the 11 o'clock show in London.
Look at me sitting casually. Tell us about tonight's guest, Daisy.
Will do. In the 80s, Bad Manners were a chart-topping ska sensation with unforgettable hits like Special Brew, Lip Up Fatty and the other one. He was going to run as Mayor of London but has now thrown his weight behind Livingston's campaign, all 30 stone of it. Ladies and gentlemen, he's Buster Bloodvessel.
Thank you very much for coming to see us. Now, you were... Oh, have a cough. You were running for London Mayor.
Yes.
Why did you bottle out?
Bottle?
Yeah, bottle.
I have bottle.
But why have you backed out then?
I haven't backed out. I've just decided to go behind what I originally said, which was I would like to back Ken if he went independent.
So you've stopped... You don't want to be mayor because you want to get behind Ken Livingstone?
Yeah, it makes more sense to me that he actually is behind Ken Livingstone.
But you had... Your manifesto had some great proposals. One of them here, you wanted to extend pub opening hours, didn't you?
Yeah, loads of great proposals in there, yeah.
You wanted to decriminalise cannabis as well, didn't you?
Well, I thought it was a great idea to actually throw barbed wire around the M25 and actually decriminalise cannabis in the London area because it would make it a very popular place.
It'd make it very popular, yes. What about Tory candidate Stephen Norris? What do you think of his policies?
He's a complete twat.
Right.
Yeah.
Could you be a bit more precise?
Yes,
okay.
I could.
OK, what about Dobson?
Similar.
Yeah.
Well, Ken is busy assembling his campaign team now, and I think we should offer him the benefit of your expert advice to help him on his way.
Yes, I totally agree.
OK, so give us your spin. Let's start with his image.
Yeah.
Was he right to lose his moustache, or would facial hair increase his minority appeal?
I think facial hair is disgusting and he should lose his moustache straight away. I also think he should shave his head, and I think he should put a lot of weight on and get one of them false tongues that he can stick out at everybody.
Well, hang on a minute, he looked just like you then, wouldn't it?
I just want to take over the world, don't I?
I've got it.
You see me, I'm one of them fat people that just sit there doing this, wanting to take over the world.
Sit there doing what?
This.
All right, just finish. Now, what about policies, OK? Which of these is a guaranteed vote winner?
Yes.
Tax on cab drivers every time they tell who they've had in the back of their cab. Invoking the Trade Descriptions Act to force topless tourist buses to be topless tourist buses. Knockers. Or anyone caught acting Frozen in Leicester Square to be immediately thrown into London dungeons. You know, those fucking idiots who wear the white and
Yeah,
go,
I know, well, yeah.
and want some money for it.
Yeah.
Should we follow those through, do you think?
I think I'd have to go for the first one there. That was corking.
Now, Ken needs a catchy slogan to sum him up. Which of these grabs your fancy? First one, I love the IRA, or I heart the IRA there, of course. Lip up fatty, or don't vote for the spoon with the beard. Which of those?
I like the last one, actually. It's sort of got a ring to it.
It did originally say, this is true, don't vote for the shit with the beard, but we changed that, for legal reasons.
Oh, you're so kind.
Now, Buster, you were once voted Britain's sexiest fat person.
No, Margate's. It's a big difference.
Oh, Margate's.
Big difference.
Margaret's finest fat person. Who else was in the running? Anybody?
No, there wasn't anybody else, actually. But I got it.
Clean win.
Yeah.
Have you seen this year's winner?
John Prescott.
That's very nice. Thank you very much, Buster Bloodvessel.
Good.
Thanks very much, Tony. Nice to meet you. Earlier in the show, we reported on the breaking news that BSE has been discovered in French and Swiss cattle. Now go back live to Ricky Gervais for more on that story. Ricky, is there any more news about these worrying developments?
No, but I've got an idea to get the French out of this mess. I don't know why I want to help them, but, you know, that's the sort of bloke I am. What they should do is give the beef to the hungry and the homeless. They're not going to say no because it's a bit infected, are they? Do you know what I mean? And it serves two purposes. They have a decent meal, and then when the BSE kicks in, they won't worry so much about their miserable life.
Right. And Ricky, how exactly does that work? Can you tell us?
Well, it's like my nan, yeah? She used to moan all the time about anything, the cold, the telly, the neighbours. Then when she went a bit, she was happy as a pig in shit. In fact, she was in shit a lot of the time,
Ricky,
to be fair.
That's a little too far.
Yeah. We all know you've had your fair share of infected meat inside you, punts.
Time now for the news just in.
77-inch busted porn star Lolo Ferrari has died. The doctor who treated her said, I performed chest massage to revive her for 3 days without success. Then I had another go.
The cause of death remains a mystery, though police have ruled out drowning.
An 82-year-old gran has lost her job as a yoga teacher, but she says she'll have no trouble making ends meet. Her face and her arse.
Following his screen death on Baywatch, David Hasselhoff is said to be furious at the announcement of his replacement. Mr. Mohammed Al-Fayed.
Hey, that was the news just in.
That's all from tonight's show, sadly.
Tomorrow night, Jason Donovan joins us live.
But before we go, controversy in Japan today over a new series of endurance in which the final contestant is brought to orgasm by a fish.
And finally, do remember that not everyone is as fortunate as you. Please listen to this charity appeal. Good night.
Good night.
Hello. Imagine you're in the army, miles from home, carrying a lot of heavy stuff about in mud. You've written some moving poetry to your wife back home, but you're feeling really bad because, 1, you accidentally got off with someone when you liberated a nearby town. 2, you've napalmed a family on the way to market. And 3, you've taken a cocktail of anti-anthrax drugs which have resulted in 2 enormous women's tits. Sick, isn't it? You know, it needn't happen. Please, please send some money now. Have a heart. Like war, do you? Come on. Don't be a cunt.